have with us today Dr. Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a father, he's a husband, he's an entrepreneur, and he's running for Congress in Arkansas's 2nd District. We're so excited to have him here today. He's a pal of Ashley's, too. So, hello.
How's it go? That was a great transition, by the way. Yes. Right.
What's up, right?
Perfect. Great. That's great. Welcome.
I love you, Chris. It's so good to see you. How's your family? What kind?
His girls are incredible.
They are.
You know, he's a girl dad.
Yeah.
Get them to run. They're the next generation. We're
They
going to
are.
get them to run.
And my wife is way more phenomenal and impressive than I am.
Also, a doctor, I hear.
Like a real doctor, the one you call when you need help.
Yeah.
I push papers. She saves lives.
Unlike RFK Jr.
We'll have to have her on. Well, we are really excited that you're here today because I think there's so much that we don't know about Arkansas that we are really eager to know. But one of the things that we first wanted to talk to you about is the newly dubbed Save America Act, which seems to be really top of mind for Trump this week. So over the weekend, he truth socialed about it. And I think we have a photo. Okay, here we go. And he said he wouldn't sign any other legislation until the SAVE Act is passed. So obviously, you're running for Congress this upcoming midterm election. Do you worry about how the SAVE Act being passed could affect voter turnout for you in Arkansas?
100%. And look, I will add, though, it's not a bad thing that he wouldn't sign any more legislation. You know, we had known that a long time ago, but the SAVE Act, it does three things. You know, one, it makes you proud that you're a citizen as opposed to attesting to it. Number two, it makes you you have to have ID when you show up to vote. A lot of places do that now. But the bigger thing is it then shares your data with the federal government. That is the thing that is deeply concerning given this federal government.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's seeing losses across the board. And he knows he's going to get slaughtered in November if he doesn't do something to change what's happening and what's coming.
Yeah, I thought it was so interesting that he changed it to the Save America Act. It was the Save Act. And then he was like, suddenly it's about, trans mutilation. And also, like it's suddenly about, like the optics of it are about, his version of saving America. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to say
he had to do that in part because he needs to keep his team riled up.
Yes.
Like, so any red meat he can throw at them. And really, he's a master magician. So it's a wave the hand over here. So you forget unemployment's going down. You forget Epstein files. You forget all of the bad stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Question about the SAVE Act.
Yeah.
The part that I'm sort of confused about is that much was made of your name not matching your name on your identification. If you have identification, but it does not match your birth certificate, the name on your birth certificate, which is sort of like the gotcha for trans folks that they're trying to pull. But it feels like his base is going to be more affected by that because there are more women taking their husbands' last names.
Interesting.
And maybe it's just that women's adjacency to Trump does not protect them as we see all the time with white women adjacent to supremacy structures. But is it just that he's willing to throw away all these like wife votes in order?
White votes. That's good, but TM, white votes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Merch that just says
good. I want a shirt that says wife votes. That's good.
Great. Love it.
But
yeah, he won't throw away anything. He's flailing, right? And at the end of the day, he's flailing because one, he's not living up to his own promises. No wars, fix the economy on day one. He's not living up to his own promises. And number two, he's caught in a corner. He's a wounded animal, and he'll do whatever he can just to survive. Meanwhile, people, white women, white men, poor folks in rural areas, poor folks in urban areas are just struggling. And they're finally saying, you know what? This is not it.
Well, let me ask you this then. folks are struggling, right? One of the things from the big, beautiful...
I'm struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling. And I will tell you, I'm feeling the impacts of the big, beautiful bill. And I know that I hold a lot of privilege, but I am noticing my premiums have gone up for health insurance, which have gone up for private insurance. My electricity bill has gone up. So I'm struggling. So for folks in Arkansas, when you go around, you're talking with potential constituents, how do they feel when they hear about things like this conflict/war in Iran? What is their feeling on that as we continue to hurt here back at home?
Yeah, it boils their blood big time. And I'll tell you, so my district is in central Arkansas, so it includes Little Rock for sure and the surrounding areas. We have a military base in our district. My wife is a combat veteran. She served in Afghanistan, so I know it personally as well. But there are a lot of military families who are saying, look, we signed up to serve America. We signed up to protect America. We did not sign up to go into some random war that doesn't benefit us. And especially when we're number one in food insecurity in Arkansas. We're bottom of the barrel in education. Our healthcare premiums have gone, like you said, gone up, and 1 in 3 farmers are at risk of going bankrupt. And they're asking, well, why are we sending hundreds of millions and billions of dollars overseas to destroy another area when we have work to do here at home?
Yeah.
I hear it all across the district.
Do you think that they believe that, folks who might be further right or folks who might be, undecided or independents, do you think they believe this idea that there is this imminent threat of nuclear war from Iran that we need to be protected from?
I think some of them do, right? Mm-hmm. I have to give credit to the media machine that has been created, because it has convinced so many people of something that is absolutely not true. Like, somebody who thinks that they can say whatever they want to about ballet and opera and they get away with it. Like, come on, like, dude, no, you're wrong. Mm-hmm. So the same similar thing has happened here, where you get an influx of a certain media impression. Democrats are bad. They eat babies. They, worship Baal, all that stuff. And over time, you start to believe that, and then you start to act on that. So they've been super effective. And now it becomes really challenging to say, well, wait a minute. If I believe that this guy's doing me wrong, I'm hurt. Now you just fundamentally, like, my whole concept of life and who I am, my identity has just been broken, which is also why I think Democrats fail. Because Democrats are constantly in their face saying, you're wrong, this doesn't make sense, as opposed to embracing them where they are. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we don't spend enough time with our own folks either. I should say we don't spend enough time in our own communities saying that we care about you. Mm-hmm. But we then try to force them to change their ideology, as opposed to saying the ship is sinking, y'all. I don't care what your ideology is. We got to save the ship.
I'm wondering, this is a broader question about Arkansas. We were talking about it, and Bill Clinton, governor of Arkansas from Little Rock, Arkansas voted for him. Arkansas also voted for Jimmy Carter. But everybody voted for Jimmy Carter once, But actually, I think Jimmy Carter was a great president.
I think Jimmy Carter was a great president too.
I feel
clear
like
for this earth.
Yeah. He was
a nuclear engineer and he was a minister. Like that.
You go right there.
On brand. Okay, there we go. Well, my question to you is, in my sort of 2026 brain, I think of Arkansas as reliably a red MAGA state. Don't I understand about local politics that make it both of these things? And could it swing again? Could it change again?
It 100% can change. I think that's a great point, and it's the impression that people have of Arkansas. Keep in mind, though, just 15 years ago, the entire federal delegation to Arkansas was Democratic. It flipped after Obama, and we can read into that more, right? But particularly in this district, it is structurally Republican, but behaviorally persuadable.
Okay.
Right. So Republicans structurally have an advantage over Democrats. But you can look at this last primary just last week. Turnout was high, much higher than expected.
Huh.
I consolidated the Democratic base and got 94% of the Democratic base and got almost right. Almost as many votes. So I basically matched French Hill, the incumbent, in terms of votes.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't happen. He got 47,000. I got 46,000. So it made right. It's persuadable. Now, and I think in large part because the largest voting bloc in Arkansas are non-voters.
Can you talk more about that? Okay, that's really interesting. We say this on this show all the time. It's not that the country's, I mean, there is a split between Democrats and Republicans, but I also think the biggest split is like people who just don't participate.
Yeah, they sit out. They sit out because they feel like nothing will change.
Yep.
They sit out because it's confusing. It's confusing. I have 5 degrees and I still can't figure it out.
We say this all the time on the show. Sometimes I think things are confusing when in fact they're just stupid. Like I'll spend a lot of time, like something will happen. And like the way that my brain works is I'm like, I have to get to the bottom of this. How does Congress work? How does this work? And I'll spend all this time trying to figure out what is happening. And then I'll get to the bottom of it and be like, oh no, this was actually really dumb. There wasn't an explanation. There wasn't something I didn't understand.
And we get a lot of that. And then I'll say that also barriers. There are real legitimate barriers to people voting. So when you combine all of that, and we're a poor state overall, now you have a situation where people just decide to stay home. But when you show up in community and when you engage folks and when you bring them into the process and make them a part of it, they feel like they own it and they believe that change can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Ashley's seen it.
Ashley.
And I think part of it is sort of what you're talking about, Dr. Jones, is people, it's confusing and it's exhausting as well.
Yes, it's exhausting.
Living, it's exhausting, especially because there's this relentless algorithming, I don't think that's a word, of our politics, right? So if we're getting parallel lines based on party and based on what you're being fed through social media, even through traditional media formats at this point.
Yep.
So if you're hearing a certain narrative and then finding out that something conflicts with that narrative, it's too exhausting to reconcile.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Instead, you just stay home. But I also want to flag that a lot of this is post-Obama, but there was really something that started at least in the 80s during the Reagan time, which was the focus on the family sort of.
Jim Dobson, yep.
Exactly. Jim Dobson, and this idea of like twinning certain values with the Republican Party, which are anti-choice, fiscally conservative, reducing safety nets, and eliminating community. That plus gerrymandering has been sort of decimating our state since the 80s.
Yeah. And if I could just add on to that to bring us to now, because I think you're right, it's been decimated. And actually, you and I are same generation, like we're Gen X, right? So we felt it, I heard it. But here's the thing that I want people to understand. With the right resources, with investment, it can change.
Yes.
Completely change. And it doesn't, in Arkansas, the beauty is it doesn't take a lot of investment. And we are already seeing it happen. When we remind people that incumbents like French Hill voted to cut Medicaid, voted to send us to war, voted to supporting the SAVE Act, all of that, voted to increase bank fees. Wait a minute, that's not helpful to me.
Right.
So when we have the resources to remind folks, and that's what I would tell your national audience, and the reason it's important, folks to fly over Arkansas, and Ashley knows this, they forget about Arkansas, but understand the control of the House is razor thin.
Right.
We can add a seat to the table. That helps us get control to get the things that we want and to stop the things that we don't want. Yeah. That's why this seat is both winnable and important to the nation.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback on that not only is adding one seat important, the state has like the largest city in Arkansas has 250,000 people in it.
Right.
So you don't have to change 1 million hearts and minds in order to do this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Change some neighborhoods.
That's it.
That's it. You can get to the hearts and minds of some neighborhoods.
Any change.
you can get it going.
Amen.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Jones. You have something in well, come on. You earned that PhD. But I'm from right outside of Boston. I grew up in Medford.
I know Medford.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Rebecca, lived in Boston for a long time. She lived in JP.
Yep.
You spent many years there. You did a lot of education there. You worked as a Boston public school teacher.
Larry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So let me ask you this. And I don't mean to say this in a way because I love Arkansas. Go Razorbacks. And
You got your preference.
not a newly. I have been a Razorbacks. Here's the thing. I'm an underdog girl.
Yeah,
so
she is an underdog girl.
So that is why I'm a Razorbacks fan.
Gotcha.
So watch them. Watch your mouth. Yeah, I got into them. Oh wow. Yeah. So they don't really win, although they're getting better.
And here the team is
It's killer.
That actually is more exciting for me.
Ashley just taught me that this morning.
But
And that's exciting, in Arkansas.
you didn't have to go back to Arkansas, and I don't mean that as an insult. But you have degrees on degrees, and you're incredibly successful. And we're out living in as the coastal elite.
Right.
Why do you? What is it about Arkansas that people don't understand that you wish they did?
Yeah, I'd say three things. One, as a minister, I believe that I'm called to those most in need.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when I look at the map of where need is, Arkansas is high on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Education, healthcare, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, because I fundamentally believe in the potential of this place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we birthed Walmart. We birthed Maya Angelou. We birthed Johnny Cash. We birthed Alex Haley and George Haley. The list goes on and on. We birthed Lottie Shackelford. We birthed John Johnson. We birthed so much with just a little bit of support. Arkansans do Bill Clinton. Arkansans do amazing things. And then the third reason is because it's in my blood.
Mm-hmm.
My family has been in Arkansas for over 200 years.
Wow.
So if I'm gonna take my little time away on the East Coast was a long time, but in the grand scheme of my life, it's a blip. Mm-hmm. And I firmly believe my grandfather, he drove a truck, had a third grade education. And he told me two things when I was sitting on the top of his truck, kind of in the truck bed, he would park it out front and I would kind of hide in there sometimes. He would always tell me two things. He said, one, big man, that's what he would call me. He said, big man, get an education. Because when you get it in your head, no one can take it out. And that's one of the reasons why I pursued education so vehemently. Third grade education told me that. The other thing he said is, do whatever you can, but when you get it, bring it back home. Go out and find fire and do amazing things, but you know what? Come back home and help and serve the people who made you who you are. That's why I'm here.
Damn. Should I move back to Medford? I think those kids can use me.
I know, Boston school teacher.
Dr. Chris Jones, can you tell folks where they can find you as you carry on our incredible campaign?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you, like I said, we need support from everyone, everywhere. We can win this seat in November. The foundation is there. Go to chrisjonesforcongress.com if you want to sign up to volunteer. Of course, sign up to donate, chrisjonesforcongress.com. But you can also follow me on social media at Jones for FORAR, Jones for AR. I respond to DMs. So please. Please reach out. Look, this is an exciting journey. These are challenging times. I firmly believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, the decisions we make in the next 3 to 5 years will shape the next 250 years.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about AI or healthcare or whatever. And we need people in place who will make the decisions that lift us all up and not extract so much to uber wealthy in the top. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Don.
We'll have you back. We'd love to have you back. And bring
Please do. Appreciate it, Rebecca, Meredith. Love you, Ashley.
Love you, Chris.
Bye.